Hey, welcome back to Minecraft Through the Night. Today is one of those multiple episode days that we have sometimes. We have got so much inventory. Good morning, sunshine. Namaste. We got so much inventory that it's getting to be... It's too bad we don't have a backpack or something, man. So here's what I'm going to do. Well, today it's one of those multiple episode days, and I've got I'm recording because I got something I want to talk to you about, and we need to get home to put everything, clear our inventory before we go any further. As much as I wanted to stay and explore, we need to get on home, y'all. Coming online, put that stuff away. Okay, how we doing with numbers? 59. Yeah, we're getting low on the numbers there. Alright, we got stuff put away. Make sure we got... Yeah, we got some coal and some wood to kickstart everything there. Don't really know why I'm carrying around this food, so won't be done with it. Alrighty, I want to talk to you today about the Yips, the old Yips. I was reading an article today, like a number of other Braves fans. I started to say long-suffering Braves fans, but, well, yeah, long-suffering Braves fans. Like many Braves fans, I am still just reveling in their World Series win. And, pardon me. And someone posted something today that included a link to a story on Tyler Matzik, who was who did some phenomenal pitching in the Braves, especially in their National League Championship Series win over the Dodgers. Matzik had the Yips. In baseball, there are a number of players have had the Yips. The Yips are so-called. They are nerves, PTSD, the shakes. It's like when you're doing a very complex task and suddenly things just don't work. You've done it a million times and things just don't work. I guess I can compare it to, here's a trivial example. Sometimes you're speaking and you use a word like crayon, and you suddenly have one of those moments like, crayon? What is that? What kind of word is that, man? Crayon? You know, and you have that kind of moment of translocation that this isn't real. What is this word? Am I going right? I need to be going southwest as far as I think I am. Southeast as far as I can tell. And so the yips is where, in Tyler Matzek's case, he was a very highly touted and regarded pitcher. He's stands on the mound and tries to prevent the hitters from getting on base or scoring runs. And he was highly touted, got recruited into the Colorado Rockies organization, and then subsequently was let go by them after years of intensive effort. He got called up to the majors. He worked through the minor leagues, got called up to the major leagues, the big league team, the big time. Oh, there we go. And then got cut. And they got sent back down to the minors again because of the yips, and they got cut. He said it was like his arm was made of wood. It just wouldn't do what it was supposed to do, what he had done 1,000,000 times. It couldn't throw the ball for strikes. He was wild. Now, the story, when I heard about it, I immediately thought of a guy named Steve Sachs, second baseman, I think second baseman for the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers were probably my most hated team. When I hated Tommy Lasorda and the Dodgers, if any of that makes sense to you, when back in the 80s, I guess, maybe even the 70s. Lasorda was like everything I hated about baseball. And my poor old country fried Braves couldn't, they couldn't beat the Dodgers. I mean, Dodgers, anyway. Well, Steve Sachs came down with the yips. He was so good like his rookie year, and then suddenly, I think his second year, he was making so many errors at second base. And I don't remember if his hitting was bad. I think his hitting went bad, and it was just a death spiral. And I think he tried to fix it, worked with sports psychologists and tried all kinds of things. And even the Braves announcers were sorry for him because the yips just devastating, for a team, for a person in pro sports. And we've seen it happen in other sports too. I think that great gymnast, the great American gymnast whose name I can't remember now, she retired from gymnastics. She pulled out of the Olympics, I think, during the Olympics, and she just couldn't stick the vault. She couldn't do what she'd been doing routinely for years. That's the yips. I think Tiger Woods had a problem with the yips, but he was still functional. But even even the greats have problems with the yips, and it's a really difficult thing to pin down. But partly comes down to anxiety. Partly comes down to something very interesting, or I found very interesting. Matzek said that in this article they were talking about there are 3 responses to extreme stress. There's fight, flight, or freeze. I had only ever heard fight or flight response. I didn't know anybody had ever talked about freeze as a stress response, but of course it is. You see it all the time. In nature, you see it all the time. Looks like I need to get on the boat here. May not be too far away. And, okay, I'm going to be real with you here. I recognized myself. I had never heard it talked about that way, fight, flight, or freeze. I'd always heard fight or flight. But when they said freeze, I thought, man, that's me. I've been through situations that all I could do was freeze. All I did was freeze. There was nothing else I could do. You know what? It looks like we have not been here yet. Don't it? I take it back. We have. We totally have, because, yep, look at this. Yep, we totally been here. Well, darn. All right, we tried. It got us out of the house, right? Let's see here. Let's just keep going on to the southeast then. Undiscovered country. We'll row to this island. Southeast, yes. We'll set the sleeping cot for the night. We'll keep talking about the yips here, because I find this so fascinating. Freeze. Fight, flight, or freeze. That has been my response so many times, that when things don't come, when I get criticized, freeze. When I get accused of something I didn't do, freeze. Or I get accused of something I did do, but in a complete misunderstanding, somebody has, screwed it around the wrong way or something, freeze. And if not freeze, then some awkward, really strange tangential response from me that isn't point to point addressing the issue, That's freeze. That's brain freeze for me. And I have blamed it on a lot of different things in the past, but that comment by Matzik, fight, flight, or freeze, boom, that just crystallized something and sent my thoughts down a whole new direction, and I really appreciate it. It's given me a lot to not just to think about, but it's something I can apply. All right, let's zoom back in now. We're going to be looking for shipwrecks and villages. Still looking for diamonds. Still want to improve to Gobber plate armor. Also, I'm looking for the ring of daisies. That looks like a half ring, but I don't think it's daisies. I think it's just... That could be. I started to say I think it's just sand. Yeah, it's just sand. Flowers would look a lot spottier, kind of like this right here. All right, let's go ahead and turn eastward then. Matzik, he ascribed his recovery from the yips. It was a years-long process, and it involved many different phases. What he said was the thing that really made it impossible for him to throw a pitch. He couldn't even throw a game of catch. He could not even throw catch. Just catch, Throw and catch. He couldn't do that. He ascribed it to his brain suddenly went into this freeze mode, this terror that he was going to hit somebody, hit a batter, cause the other team to retaliate. Then everybody's got to have a fight. Maybe somebody gets hurt, seriously hurt. Maybe that's somebody on his team. And that terror just took over for him. What is this stuff? Calcite. What the heck is calcite? I mean, I know what it is in real life. Let's get out of the boat. I apologize for these lags, but I'm almost certain it is, oh, well, I didn't mean to do that. Almost certain it's the ambient. So I'll just remove that mod and See if it works. I'll remove that mod before the next time. Well, whether I wanted to or not, I got a bunch of calcite. Let's get off the boat and strike out over land. Maybe the fact that our land speed is slower than boat speed will kind of make this better. If you're watching, I would just say this is not a great time to watch. Just listen. And let's talk about the yips. You know, talking about Steve Sachs, nobody had ever been cured of the yips. Sachs had he had a comeback. He left the game, then he came back. He was adequate, but he was never the amazing, stunning talent he started out to be. Oh man, this is getting bad. It could also just simply be the fact I'm in the map size and everything. Let's go northward. See if we can find that Ringo Daisy. So one of the things that Matzek discovered, part of his issue was he had so much anxiety, he had constant panic attacks or frequent panic attacks. And ultimately he was prescribed an anti-anxiety med, and that helped him. He found out by concentrating on other things, that took some of the pressure off. And he had this great idea. I mean, a great, insane idea. Not insane, but brilliant. He said, I'm convinced that I've got 10,000 yips in me. 10,000 throws that are screwed up by the yips. So if I can just get those out of the way, I'll get the yips out of my system. Good God. This is ridiculous. And so a lot of what he did was simply physical working out. He did a lot of working out. Dedicated himself to a great deal of just physical work. And he found some people identified a few mechanical problems that once he had overcome the primary issue of the yips, the fear, the anxiety, once he had overcome the psychological aspect, he began working on the physical aspect. I mean, he was working on it at the same time, but there were some physical things that just locked it into place, locked his form back into even better form than he ever had in his life. So, highly recommend. If you can find, I can't remember this website of this article, but I highly recommend it. With that, I am going to put a break here because something is making this game go crazy. And I'll see you next time from Minecraft Through the Night.